Hi, and welcome to the drive to JoeFest. And to all the people that might be wondering, Thursday with the Front has not ended, but for the next 2 months or 8 weeks, or that's 2 months, I guess, we will be doing the drive to JoeFest, kind of changing it up, bringing on people who are going to be at JoeFest. A lot of people that I've already met that are there, and some people that I haven't. And I'm really excited for it. I know some of you may get aggravated, annoyed with how much myself, my guest, one of my guests, Akxion Figs, and others talk about it. But until you actually get there and experience how much fun that we actually have, and it's not just about the toys. It could be anything. Um, there's just something truly magical about this weekend or this week. It's more than a weekend. But anyway, I will ramble on. So first off, let me bring my first special guest, and that is my moderator, Ed. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me. I know you're super busy on Thursdays.
Yes, I'm super busy on Thursdays at this time. I always got something to do at this time.
Always got something to do.
Good.
So anyway, thank you for joining. I know you and I have talked about JoeFest numerous times. You are my roommate once again this year. And I think people get annoyed with us talking about it. But I think the only people that get annoyed are the ones that haven't actually experienced it.
I
right?
agree. You've been there. You look forward to going back.
Because it is something special. It's again, never really leaving the hotel. Other than, you go into town, you walk into town.
Yeah.
We go to the toy store that one day, but there's the whole point of being there is hanging out with your friends that we've cultivated over these past few years now. It's more than a couple years. So,
and really, with the restaurant they have there and everything that's right on site, there's really not much need to leave the hotel. Other than to go to, Top Dog Comics, which, the toy store is amazing. So you got to hit that place up.
Those cheesy bites.
Yes.
First thing that I will be ordering when I get there.
Yeah, I'll be having a pizza.
So anyway, this whole thing can't happen without one man's vision, who took over what I believe was JoeCon, because he saw the same thing. Hey, this is where a lot of my friends meet for 1 year. So my special guest, Mr. Ed Schumacher, the owner and promoter of JoeFest. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime. I'm probably with Ed. Anytime I can talk about JoeFest, I'm going to. Like, I get a little glimmer. It's magical.
Yeah, we were just together 4 weeks ago, and we're talking about it 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, we spooned in the hotel and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, and how is this one? We're less than 2 months away. Are you getting excited?
Yeah, this is the time of year you're excited and stressed at the same time. The stress gives way to the excitement at 4 weeks out, because that's about when all the work is done. But we still got a lot going on and got a lot more to announce, and this is the big time now. So
who would have thought that it would take a guy leaving Hasbro and the G.I. Joe team to finally be able to come down to JoeFest, and that's Lenny Pedzika, right?
We've been trying for years. Let's just leave it at that. But
you and I've discussed it, backstage. Like, I've always offered it, like, hey, you're more than welcome, guys. And again, we understand what Hasbro is. Mattel, they don't come. They don't go to certain shows like that, where you would think, hey, all the work's done for you. But at the same time, you can understand Hasbro wants their own controlled environment with now. And Boss Fight's never been there. And that we had the discussion. We're like, I don't think Boss Fight was there either year. And I know you had mentioned this first time ever. So
yeah, first time, and it's another group of people we've tried getting out over the years. So we're excited to have them this year, and they are bringing products, so that's even better. Just new great additions to the show, and between you got Lenny, and then you got Corey and Henry, other two great toy designers. So yeah,
so much with Skeletron, and just little tip, guys. There's 21 people watching. Get a few pops and Corey, and he will talk. All right. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a very, very good way.
Corey's the one that we connected with, and he brought a lot of this together. So, much thanks to him.
And it just shows you like these companies. And listen, I went to Assembly Required. I spent time with Ben. They love the show. Like they are very thankful for what you do, and just like they are for Assembly Required. So, I think it's great. Like, if I could jump those 7 weeks, or what is it? Is it 6 or 7 weeks? 7 weeks, right?
Yeah, we're getting about there. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's it was, I want to say a couple months back. I actually got a message from one of the major toy companies that's been setting up for years, and he just sent a little note of encouragement, and he goes, "You don't know what this means to people." He goes mentally, he goes, but financially, he goes, this is our thing, and he goes, just keep it up. And me, I don't look at it that way. It's, I want everybody just to have fun and whatnot, but I never thought of people actually having to rely on it. So,
and that's where, like, again, I do a walkthrough. I've done a walkthrough both years. Last year was great because I fell asleep in the hotel room, and it was a nap that I was taking. And this asshole right here, when you're half asleep and you can hear someone, he's doing commentary. He put the video on. And then
Tony did.
Oh, Tony. Okay, so our other roommate had put it on, and I'm hearing commentary, and then I'm like, "You're half," and then I can understand. Like he's watching me, but he's talking over me. I'm like, "Thanks a lot." Which I wish I would have had that on film.
I don't know how much of a nap you could call it when it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes, it was 3 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. See, I was thinking it was like in the morning, like before.
No, it was like 3 a.m. because I just come up to the room.
Okay, maybe then I was.
You and Tony were spooning and watching the video.
Because I know people made comments like he was watching his own video. I'm like, I didn't put it on. Like, I was not watching my own video. I do that in the privacy of my own home. Quickly, let me say hi to everyone that has joined us. There's 20 people watching right now. Please hit that like button and get ready to go to JoeFest if you haven't yet. We have Payne's Toy Samples jumping in here. And look, here's that guy right here, Tony's Figs, who had that on. And then we have the Road to JoeFest 2026, David T. Allen, the voice of JoeFest, who I shoot jokes at him all the time when I'm talking to him. Like, and I was actually talking to you in that opening video when like he comes up right over the loudspeaker at the most inopportune time, and there was some guy that I was talking to. He got aggravated, and he's like, He's like, that voice comes on all the time, and it's the worst time. I'm like, he's just doing his job. Like, what's he supposed to? He can't, you can't ask everyone to be like, okay, at these points of the hour, everyone has to be quiet so he can do his announcements. We got Rex Ship Beardy McBeardison jumping in and saying, "What's up, punk? Time for all those going to JoeFest to rub our noses in it. You are more than welcome to come." We have the Krusty old Crow jumping in here. Stanley Eberhardt, U.S. Combat Dojo, Extra Creepy, Sean Jones, Alex Martinez. I was looking at Paul Morales. Got ahead of myself. 80s Joes. We got Steve Martin, who I know it will be his first time going. I'm looking forward to seeing him. And G.I. Jetman saying, "What's up, punk?" and chat.
His first time, too.
His first time, yep. And he's taking a long bus ride from New York to get there. So, hopefully his travels, go really well. And, he has he's in a motorized, wheelchair. So,
wow.
But we have seen, I know we've seen a couple people that are in wheelchairs that, that they can get around there. So hopefully everything goes really smooth for him. Because again, it's really meant for everyone. But
Yep.
Again,
Yeah, we're fully accessible. I mean, we've got elevators on both sides of the convention floor, and we keep the aisles wide. And um, like you said,
yeah.
and it's also because you got so many kids too that come in there. You want to make sure that everybody can get around without getting run over, of course. So
Well,
I'd say that's one thing I really like. The first year I was at your show, Ed, I appreciate it because I've gone to a lot of cons in my day, and there's so many times you're just fighting through the crowd, and it's
yeah,
crowded. It's busy in there, but there's still plenty of room to be able to just walk down the center of that lane while people are off to the side shopping and not bumping into them and knocking stuff off of
yeah,
displays and stuff like that. So it's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
setup.
Yeah, last year we went a little bit wider on the aisles, so that helped a lot. And then, expanding to a second floor, and now we're expanding to the hallway leading into that second floor. So that in itself
so,
spreads the
so,
people out.
so how much on the second floor are you going to get? Because last year I knew you had the whole upper where we walked up. Is there somewhere else that you're going to be able to go, or?
Do you know when we usually do the toy swap, the hallway
Yeah.
that we do? Well, this year we're going to line that with tables. And we're going to have vendors there during
Okay.
the day, and then those tables will become clear in the evening for the toy swap, and we can use those tables, which we haven't ever done before. Trying to make it a little bit more organized up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year, I know. Last year you had some space. You had it. Then you started adding a few more tables there.
Yeah,
And it wasn't bad because that's I know that the first year in 24 when we went, that's where you tried having the panels, and the sound was just awful because of
yeah,
people walking through there and everything. And I like the fact that it's been moved.
yeah,
It's been moved elsewhere, which is how it should have been. So,
yeah,
U.S. Combat Dojo saying I'm driving 16 hours from northern New York to go to JoeFest this year. I think you're going to have a blast. And Stanley Eberhardt saying I'll pre-tour the hotel with Jetman Thursday afternoon. So I don't know. I don't know if Stanley. I know Stanley and Jetman. They're getting a room, and I think they were trying to get a room in the hotel. They weren't able to book one. I said, hey, just hold off. Just call every week. But
yeah.
as you come closer, people will start canceling their
Sure.
rooms, and some will. I booked. I go through AAA, and I booked a suite. The moment I knew what the weekend was, I just booked it. I tell everyone, I go, if you think you're going to go, just book the room.
Yeah,
You can cancel anytime. It doesn't cost you any money. And yet I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall when I continue to tell people this. There's someone
yeah.
behind you, man. Be careful.
Oh, sorry.
Clinton Jorgensen says JoeFest is the best. My wife called it a bucket list trip, so hope to get back. So Clint actually made it last year. And the reason why he was on the fence and why he might not be able to go this year is he was in the process of adopting a child, and they're in the process
Cool.
of adopting another child. And he's
Wow.
like, the restrictions that you have to be in consideration is mind-boggling.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I have a friend that adopted, and yeah, no, I'm well aware of it. And some of it's kind of a bit crazy too, to be honest with you. But
When he was telling me, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
yeah,
But they were able to come and have have their their new child, which is awesome.
yep,
That they got to experience, and I mean, they were little. So hopefully he's able to show up. I think Clint was there for one day. I think they drove in like one day. They might have stayed the night, but I don't think they stuck around on Sunday. And he was the person, like, I think he saw pretty much everyone he wanted to. But then later on, everyone's like, dude, has everyone seen Clint? I'm like, saw him right at the beginning, and no one ever saw him again. So, and then here is 3 stars saying, same, I booked the second day they were up, which is the smart thing to do. Again, it's really easy, and I shouldn't even be telling people this because I need to book, and I should be like, okay, now you should go book. But I go through AAA. I get a suite, and plan on either splitting it with one or 2 people, and then the price is even cheaper than what you're able to get get
Yep.
those rates for.
Yeah, what kills me is, I mean, people, like you said, people wait, and then I get the the nastiness. Why isn't there any rooms? Well, there was plenty of rooms, but they
'Cause I didn't build the
go.
hotel.
I don't think they still believe that it's that popular that like you can just call up a week before and get a room. It's not that way. It sells out in a week. Um,
Well, on top of that, like the first year I went, Ed, we didn't decide to go until like January, my friend and I. So we got a room at a hotel down the road. And even
Yeah.
getting a hotel down the road is tough because you got all the military base stuff that's going on, people coming in to see their families and stuff. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, you got, that weekend of the Joe and all everything else that's going on. It's not easy just to grab a hotel room. It's not like pulling
No.
off the highway and finding a hotel room at a, quick
And
restaurant.
it's summer, vacations.
Yep.
It's occasionally the pride festivals in town.
24 there was, and we
Yeah.
ran into it while we were going, and our buddy Tony's Figs danced with them as we were walking down to get something.
Yeah, they do some pretty good concerts
Hey.
2 blocks over, and it's free entertainment at night. So,
Tony's a dancing fool. We'll just say
yeah,
that.
yeah. But,
He's a fool in more ways than just dancing. So
That's true.
it definitely brings the town alive that week. And then it's also the week leading into 4th of July, so there's so many more people traveling. It's just a popular time of year. It's not always easy to get a room anywhere. So needless to say, with a convention going on.
I mean, you picked a great hotel for it because the last 2 years we've been there, we've been up in the lobby till 3, 4 in the morning. And the staff is all really cool about it. They might come over and tell you, guys, quiet down a little bit, but they're not like, rude about it or anything like that. Last year we had the whole front counter taking pictures of us at like 3 in the morning because we were trying to get a group shot, and half of us were lit and the other half was falling asleep, and they're,
They made some changes, that right up the staircase there.
Yeah.
To the left, as you come up the stairs, they had the tables, and then to the right, they had the couches. Well, they took out the couches and they put in this, I think it was like a $1,200 table.
wow.
And it's huge, and it's got all these chairs around it. So it'll be easier for people to spread out, talk toys, bring toys, and just sit there, until the wee hours. And I really like what they've done.
No, and it's fun. And again, Ed, Ed was someone that, I got to know through here. And the first year that I went, there was, I went with Tony and Travis Moody and, Baldy Locks, was there. So there's a lot of people that I had met, but like last year, this guy here, Akxion Figs, I met him there because we stopped, and thank you to the guy over here, said, hey, how much for all of this that he had? So I bought all this, all this styrene,
Dioramas.
is it whatever, dioramas from him, and we've struck up a good relationship. Can't wait to see Robert again this year. So you meet people there, not
Let's
just
just say, isn't that the best part of it?
Yes. Now, I say, I keep saying, like, if you bought nothing, you'd have a great time. And every time I'd say that, Ed's like, hey, look, you just bought something else. I'm like, I know, but I don't have to.
No. And
let's be honest, okay? Last year up to JoeFest for the last 2 months, he's like, you can just go and have a great time and not buy anything. And the first night, Lawrence dumped, I don't know how much money the first night we were there, within the first hour. And he's like, yeah, but I need this stuff. I'm going to get it now.
I bought a lot of stuff last year.
Yeah.
Stanley says the JoeFest rate sold out in like 30 minutes. I tried weekly for months. And again, I don't know, because like I said, once I found out what the dates were, I just booked it. I just booked it directly through AAA. I got the suite. But I tell everyone, I'm like, don't worry about getting the tickets, will be there.
Yeah.
Like, get the JoeFest tickets later. Those you cannot exchange, but you can cancel.
And this year, we reserved both towers under the group rate this year. Now, of course, they hold a certain amount of rooms back. They have a contract with the local airlines that they have to accommodate.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sure they hold a certain amount back for, just for travel purposes. But we reserved all of it that we could get this year. And it did. It sold out that quick, which is, I'm thankful for it, but I wish there was more rooms, in the inn.
David here says, try some Airbnbs in the area if you're still looking for a room. And that's great. I mean, you can get Airbnb, you can go to another hotel, but once you experience why I keep telling everyone, Ed realized after that first year that they said, you don't want to leave the hotel.
No.
If it's 2:00 in the morning and you're in the lobby, the last thing you want to do is even walk 5 minutes to another. I don't want to walk down to the suites hall.
I know. It seems so far, doesn't it?
But the other thing, if you do buy things, then you can walk back up to your room.
Or you could just take a break,
Exactly.
Yep.
And again, if an Airbnb is what works for you, I fully get it. But I think when most people are there for as long as they are, and they're there to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, if they plan on going the next year, they're going to go, now I understand why you say stay in the hotel.
It would really be a good workout program too if I didn't eat so much when I was there, because I put like 20,000 steps in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I ate just as many calories as I was burning. So,
and you can make a wrong turn going towards the Sweet Tower, and you could literally get lost in there. Because it's kind of like an uneven floor the way they got it set up there, and it's like
it is.
It is. It's like where's floor just say 2, and wait a minute, there it is. It's kind of crazy, but it is a lot of walking.
And what was funny is that last year, we got our hotel, we get our room, and Tony and I are walking there, and literally, like, we get on it and we get off the, we get off the elevator, and we're like, is that the same room we had last year? And I'm pretty sure we got the same. And obviously we didn't, because it was actually Travis's room, so he had booked it. So obviously I wasn't like, hey, I didn't know a room, but I remember getting off the elevator. I'm like, dude, that's the same fucking room that we had. We got Mendoza here. We got Andrew Davis, JoeFest. Let's go. Hey, Ed, I'm coming down to help out again this year.
So I appreciate it. Yep.
Jim Smith is here. I live a little over an hour away, so I'll commute every day. In an hour, I drive an hour for work all the time. Like, that's no big deal. But if you're hanging out till 2, 3 o'clock, I'd be like, just gonna crash right here in the lobby.
I live 15 minutes away, tops, maybe like 10, 12 minutes. And I did it one year. We stay there now. It's just that 10-minute ride at 2:00 in the morning, you don't want to do it.
It's the last thing you want to do. Like you said, like you said, like walking down, like, because if you're in the suite, you're all the way at the end.
Yep.
You walk up to the top of those steps and you're like, oh, that hallway is so long.
Yeah.
3-star has a question. It says, question for Ed S. That would be you. Will there be any ticket or VIP sales before the show?
What do you mean? At the table, or we're selling them all online right now. But you can buy them at the show too. So either way works.
Darren, don't worry.
That's speaking of ticket prices. That your ticket prices, I know they went up this year, right? But
no, they didn't.
No,
they didn't.
Okay,
they're as cheap as you can ever get a ticket to a convention.
I know. I was telling Punk this a couple weeks ago when we were together in Webster, New York, which is the middle of nowhere, New York.
Oh no, I know it well up there. Trust me.
So I've gone to like some of the local conventions in Buffalo and all over the place, like I said, and even the local conventions, you're talking $45 for a day to get in, and you're I'm doing that for the weekend.
I'm doing 20 on Saturday and 10 on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
I want the money in the vendors' hands.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, I'm trying. I try. It all depends what the convention center charges each year, and
Yeah.
that's a city facility. So it's not even nothing I can negotiate or nothing. It's what it's priced at, and but we try different ways of covering the cost and just trying to keep the tickets. I mean, you can get a whole family pass for the whole weekend. I
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
how much it was.
Yeah, what's the family pass? It's like, was it
Two,
$80?
yeah, two adults and however many kids you got. Kids are
Um,
free anyway, so I mean,
oh,
you can't beat that for a whole weekend. You just
No, not at all.
no, and so Motor City Comic Con, and it's huge, right? Like,
yeah,
GoFest is way smaller, but this is a generic,
sure,
it's a generic thing, and I'm looking up the tickets right now, and you're looking at $48 for a Saturday pass.
yep,
And for this here, and again, this is more of an event, in my opinion. Like I said, if I go to Motor City Comic Con, I'm doing a lot of walking around. But when my kids were little, you're gonna buy stuff, and what's the
sure,
use of going there? But then you're spending all this money, and I really have no reason to go multiple days. But
yep,
like Joe Fest, like you're there to meet so many people, and I have seen, there is a difference between the people that are upstairs, and this is not a negative or a slight at them. And I realized this last year. So like the guys upstairs that are doing the swap and everything, uh, those are the guys that were going to JoeCon. And a lot of them see that as, hey, this is the place where we really come to get good deals, swap stuff. And then the people downstairs that are hanging out in the lobby there by the hotel or by the restaurant, that's a lot of the newer YouTubers that have met there, and we all seem to be hanging down there. And hey, yeah, we go back and forth between the two, but I really realized in talking to some of them, because a lot of them, the way they talk about assembly required was how myself and Ed, we talk about what Joe Fest is, because assembly required is a much smaller show, but it's way easier to chat and talk there, and those guys are looking for good deals, and that's kind of what I noticed. And again, no better, no worse, just a little bit different. And I love it that it's just for everyone.
Well, see, we as a family we go to MegaCon in Orlando each year. Prices went up this year. I think for a Saturday pass it was like $70-$80 a person. So we're talking like close to 400 for four of us to get in now. And then, like you said, you could have go in there. I mean, you're basically buying a ticket to go in to spend money.
Yeah,
Same as any convention. And then you figure the travel, the hotel, and all. This is the first year we missed. We just decided we'd rather go to maybe some smaller conventions where it's not as so crowded and you could actually have maybe a more memorable time.
that's that's it right there. Like,
I think that's the key anymore.
because
You know?
if you're going, like you said, you're going to MegaCon, and it's $80 a ticket, and you're spending almost $400 to get in there.
Yeah.
That's you're like, hey, listen, we can get some stuff, but it
Got
costs
to
so much
watch.
to get in here. You're just going to kind of sit there and be like, we can't get everything.
Yep.
Not as much as we used to. And I know for me, like Motor City Comic Con, and it's in 2 weeks, or actually it's next weekend.
Okay.
It's great to go there, but I can go to my local my local store, Sergeant Red's, and they're a huge store, and he has a warehouse, and I can be like, John, do you have this? Let's go to your warehouse and find it. Now, I'm lucky I have really good toy stores, but I also have, he's the best toy store in Michigan, and I have a working relationship with him. I don't really need to go to those. They're more for sightseeing.
Yep.
I got lucky this year because JoeFest is the same weekend as Nickel City Con up here in Buffalo, and last year it was the weekend. I went to JoeFest, got home, and took my 2 adult children to Nickel City Con last year, just on Sunday. It cost me almost as much to go there as the whole weekend at JoeFest.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I honestly, that's what I'm trying, and it's always been the mission from the beginning.
Well, you're
Keep it
doing good
as
stuff, man. You're doing good stuff.
affordable. I mean, in this world that we live in now, you can't. You got to pick and choose what you're going to spend money on.
Yeah.
And we try.
And I think some people do conventions so they can make money. And, we've talked about it and you're like, I don't make a lot of money off this. This is for the love of the friends that I've made. And when JoeCon shut down, we discussed, what we could do. And I decided, hey, I'm going to do this. And it changes things when you're like, hey, this is not something I'm trying to do so I can have another convention and then another convention. I'm doing this for this one convention, and you've grown it to a certain point. But to look at it and be like, people are coming here and they're going to spend money.
Yeah.
And so if I'm charging too much, all the vendors are going to be like, well, I really didn't make that much money. And that's because they all spent it to get in, to get in the doors.
No, the vendor spaces are some of the cheapest you'll ever find too. So, I try to take into account that it costs for them to travel here, costs for them to set up. I really want them to be able to make their money as quick as they can on the space they bought, and then they turn around and it just looks a lot larger in their pocket,
Yeah, it all goes to what their experience is too.
Yep.
Because like you said, if they're not making money, they'll have to look at it and be like, man, I packed all of this stuff. I hired people to help work the booth. Was this even worth our time? Or could I have done a smaller show that's not going to charge me as much, that's closer, and especially like you have Delta 17. These guys are coming from Canada.
Yep.
And that's not easy, especially right now.
Sure.
With everything's going on. So,
yep.
Everything that, and again, from the first time that I talked to you before I went to JoeFest to now, it's like you see it. You hear a lot of people say that they're doing something, and then when you experience it, you're like, well, I kind of see it, but it's more smoke and mirrors. Yours is, you're honest, and it's like you see exactly what you've told us. And the one thing you also say to people, and you said this to me, you said, hey, if you see me, come say hi, but don't expect me to remember when I saw you, because it is I'm running around, I'm doing this, and it's understandable because
I'm working. To me, I'm working that weekend. That's my job, is to make sure you're happy. Sometimes I slip up and don't remember a name or something like that. It's only because I got 3,000 things going on, in the head, trying to go, I got to go do this. I got to be there. I got to do, I got to go say hi over there. It's just me, but I just want everybody happy. That's all it is.
And you have every single booth there that you probably want to, it's like a manager at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go around every now and then, touch every single, table there to make sure everyone, is being taken care of and they're having a good time. And if they're not, what can I do to make this better?
Yep. I think it shows to me. I mean, right now we're approaching 600 now on the waiting list, which is pretty much 100%, 200% more than what we actually have for vendors. So I think the word of mouth has really gotten out there. This is where you want to be.
I know that the YouTube generation, and I'm including myself in this, we have spoke so highly of it. And I think it helps with every con, Legion's Con, DFW, Assembly Required, right? Like the big ones like, New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, like they don't need, they don't need the word of mouth, right? Everyone already knows that's where toys are being, revealed. You are having these independent toy companies like Big Bad Workshop and guys like that are saying, "Hey, we're going to be unveiling stuff. We're going to be showcasing stuff." Skeletron did all that stuff. They were the ones. How many years has Bob Breakin been alive? And they were the ones that were able to get him to come to the U.S.
Yep.
That's saying something.
That's probably going to be my all-time favorite memory when all is said and done. We're still friends online today, and oh man, what a gentleman that guy is. He made my whole show go that year.
I ran into him in the hallway in the hotel when he was on his way back into the convention, and I was like, I stopped. I'm saying, "Hey, can I take a picture?" Nicest guy, a little firecracker, especially for he's older. He's just booking, and then I don't know, maybe an hour later, maybe not even an hour, I see him on the floor, and I'm like, "Man, I keep running into you," and he's just laughing. Such a good sense of humor, and again, so much energy. I hope I can have that much energy, when I'm 51, let alone, where he's getting. And again,
well, we went to dinner with him at the restaurant there in the hotel, and my daughter, she was in art school at the time, and the pointers that he was giving her on business and art, and it just how friendly he was. I'll never forget it. He didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
It's little things like that that kids will never forget, but that parents will. And I was at Motor City Comic Con years ago, and my son was huge into Red Hood, and there was this guy dressed as Red Hood. He had his own little booth, and he did a whole YouTube show, a whole Red Hood YouTube show, and he let my son put the mask on, put his jacket on, took pictures with him, let my son talk his ear off. And I messaged him after that, and I'm like, "You have no idea how much this means to me as a parent. You didn't have to talk to him that long.
Yep.
He was super friendly." He's like, "It was my pleasure." I'm like, "Yeah, but I need to tell you what you did, because you made he didn't want to wear the mask. Like, he had his own Red Hood mask. He wouldn't wear, and as soon as he saw that guy, he was like, I want to put the mask on." And then he wanted to walk over and be seen by him. And at the time, he didn't realize that he does a YouTube show. It's not like a real TV show. And again, here I'm doing a YouTube show. But I'm like, I can't explain to you how wonderful you were to him. And you made his day, like something he's going to remember the rest of his life.
Yep. Yeah, it's the little things. And,
yeah,
you have different memories each year. I've learned it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you said, it's just that little thing that will make the whole weekend worthwhile. Of course, it's the toys and all that stuff, but
again, I can get these toys anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have Sergeant Red's, one of the best toy stores you'll ever go to.
Yeah.
I love John. I mean, him and his wife, they're absolutely amazing. I can get any toy. I can go on eBay. I can go on Amazon. I can get all these toys. I don't have to go to JoeFest or Legion's Con or wherever to get anything, right?
Yeah.
I'm choosing to drive like 13 hours, 13 or 14 hours. It takes longer now as you get older and you have to pee more.
Yeah, but you also have a little bit more money, so you can go a little bit faster. So
that is true too. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm choosing to drive this far to get anything that I could get here in Michigan. Ed, you probably feel the same way.
I don't go there for the toys. I go there for the experience, and it's just in my adult life, it's probably one of the things outside of seeing my kids that I really look forward to every year. So,
and I can speak in 2 years of going to JoeFest. I have not been disappointed once at JoeFest. I cannot say the same thing about my kids.
Yes. But
We'll
maybe
just-
if you wore redhead mask, your son would respect you more.
Possibly. Maybe I'll try that. He probably thinks that maybe he thinks I'm wearing a Joker mask all the time.
Right.
So is there anything changing this year from years in the past? Other than, I mean, you talked about the
More
space
vendor.
coasters.
More vendors. Yeah. I'm helping a local group here get upstarted. It's not GI Joe, but they're trying to get a Hot Wheels group off the ground. So we're going to have a Hot Wheels meet on Saturday with some vendors and whatnot. Just trying to give these guys a chance to get going.
So if you're having a Hot Wheel, how will we walk around? Because we know Hot Wheels collectors are always sitting on the floor going through everything.
Well, this is going to be up in that hallway to start with. So
no using that hallway that day.
Well, you don't have to worry about it, Lawrence, because they'll be there at 6 a.m. and out by 7 when they figured out there's no stock.
Yeah. I've been trying to learn about that whole world that is, and I went to a show in Tennessee. I went to some local ones, and they're not different than toy collectors per se, action figure collectors, but it is a whole new world to learn for me, man. Those little cars, they're like it's funny because it's like I went up to this one guy and I'm like, oh, I like that little car. He says, how much is it? He goes, oh, that's one of the more expensive ones. I said, well, how much? He goes, oh, that's $10. I'm like, $10? And he looked at me and goes, you realize the car's like $1.24 when it comes out, so $10, that's one heck of a markup. And I'm looking at him going, God, I wish maybe I would have started in that world instead of this world, because it's completely different. I mean, $10, okay, here's $10. I don't feel bad about it, So it is different, and there's millions of those little cars. I went to a shop in Raleigh, and I've never seen it. I mean, the guy had them organized by style and body types and years, and it was like, I looked at him and said, how many you have? He goes, I got millions. And he knew where every one of them was too. So it's like, wow.
And that's the other thing. Like, yeah, maybe they cost $1.25 to buy.
Yeah.
But when you're buying 100, last time I checked, that's still $125, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I've
just
never
because you can buy more doesn't mean you spend less.
Oh, I bought this
into Hot Wheels, but I have my dad's original Matchbox collection from the 50s. So,
well, yes, as I was just good. I bought a vintage. I think it was a Hot Wheels at this show in Tennessee, and the paint was perfect on it. Whatever. And I was like, how much is that? And he goes, well, this is from the early '60s. It's expensive. He goes, yeah, it's $20. And I'm looking at him going, that to me, that's not a toy. That's history right there. Yep. That's how I look at it, and I'm like, I'll buy that, and I'm all the way home, and I get it home, and I'm looking at this little thing. I'm thinking, well, where this little car must have been, for all this time, and how it's made it here. And it's like, it's got a story to tell, and
I looked at my dad's Matchboxes just on eBay to see what they were worth on some of the collector sites, and it was the same thing, right? This car's, at the time, 40 years old, and it's, I'm thinking, oh, being an action figure collector, I'm like, oh, this is going to be, worth some money. It's like, yeah, $22. I'm like, woo. Not that I'd ever sell them, because they're my dad's and it's history, but it's like, just to see what they were worth. I was like, ooh, $22 for this one. All right. All they need is 1,000 more, and I'll be rich.
The show in Tennessee, it was in like a gymnasium type of thing, right? I had two gyms, and we get into the room to the right. Everything in this room, there are all these tables set up, and every table, all the cars were $1 each. And I'm thinking, I asked one guy, I said, how much you pay for the table? He goes, I pay $15. I'm thinking, okay, so you guys sell 15 cars. And it was like, it really wasn't a lot of attendance, you know? And I was like, I don't know if these guys made their cost, you know? And but yet the difference was they were doing it for the love of it. They loved it. And, you know, I'd go up to them because I'm new into it, and they're telling me about the history of this, that, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, they love doing it. And that's where you can draw the two together. Toy fans are they love doing it. It's definitely not for the prestige, that's for sure.
I think that was kind of the big thing about Joe Cons back in the day, right? A lot of it was the 1/6 scale collectors. And a lot of it was just trading, you know, and just getting to know people and just sharing that history from the 60s and 70s, Joe, in the beginning of the you know, the Real American Hero fandom.
Yeah. Yeah, I you know, Joe Con to me was a bit different because it had the official Hasbro merchandise.
Yep.
And too often I saw with Joe Con, they would go in there, they would line up at the official store, they would get the merchandise, and they leave.
Yep.
And a lot of times, you know, a lot of that stuff, if it wasn't for your collection, it was right on eBay right after it. And, you know, while I loved Joe Con, I did, you know, I don't know. It was just a different animal to me.
It certainly wasn't the vibe that you have going on at JoeFest for sure. It was a totally different vibe for sure.
Yeah. I know they had some great activities. They had the like the casino nights and all that stuff. And
yeah.
We've got the karaoke and stuff like that. We've got trivia this year. So, you know, I took some values from them, you know.
Yep.
But
I always went to see the dios. That was my big thing. I always just loved seeing the big dios that they had there.
I've tried getting that off the ground. I just can't seem to get any interest in people wanting to do it, you know?
It's hard. I think a lot of it has to do with the travel, because like I had a couple of buddies that used to build those big dios, you know, and it was always just getting it down there, making sure you can get it into the hall and not damage it on the way, or you know, having some kid come up and poke a hole in your, you know, your foam or something. It was, you know, that's the problem. It happens.
Yeah, look at how much space you have too. I mean, you're like, hey, I have people I have to turn away. How do you justify a big area for dioramas?
Yeah. I mean, we set up a little section of it one year across from the ticket tables, and I mean, of course, you had wandering hands, you know, people looking to walk away with a few of it, and so you had to watch it, and you know, if you set up a separate room, you gotta watch that. And
there was my one friend, Random Diorama, went to DFW last year, and there was a guy that had a World War II setup, and he had two Joes with the original metal pots, you know, for their helmets, right? The metal ones, like from 1964. And during the day, somehow somebody swapped those metal ones out with plastic ones and walked off with the metal ones, which are worth, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's the type of stuff. I mean, we all see on Facebook, you know, and on Instagram, the figure swaps. You know, people buying a figure, putting something back, and I'm sorry, I think those are the lowest of low people.
Oh yeah,
I've always said, I know Ed Akxion Figs, he's heard me say it 100 times. If you can't afford a $25 figure, 27, whatever, there's no shame in it. If you feel that your hard-earned money isn't worth it, isn't worth paying it, then that's understandable. But to buy something and then put a $5 figure in it and return it, knowing that, I don't know, Johnny's grandmother buys him a Spider-Man figure thinking that this is what he wants, and it's some other figure. I mean, sorry, you're a piece of shit. You know?
It's a lot like we were just talking with the little Hot Wheels. You know how many times I've seen in Walmart where you know they're ripped off and it's you know, just a card hanging.
Yep.
It's $1 car. What are you doing? You know, honestly,
or
just
people that hide stuff so they can come back. I'm like, dude,
oh,
like, if you don't have the money, there's nothing like there's no shame in it.
no,
But
no,
hide something and hopefully you can come back later and get it on clearance. And again, it's just like, come on. Like,
yeah,
this is an expensive hobby at times. I think we all can agree with that.
yeah.
But don't be bringing stuff back. Don't be ripping off. We're adults. Like, I couldn't even imagine. I can remember the last time I stole something, and I was like 17 years old, maybe even 16. And I understand not a lot of kids will, they'll steal. Hopefully, most of us learn early on, like, it's not worth it. You get a job, you do what you're supposed to.
Yeah. And it's ultimately it's nothing you need. Nothing.
Yes.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. You're
I
not
do
stealing
have
a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
I do have to say that I think some of the best figure swapping that I do see is when someone puts back, when they swap it and the figure they put back is worth more than the one they bought. And you're going, maybe go on eBay and see how much that figure you had there is actually worth.
Yeah, right.
Because you could have got like 4 of those figures that you just for that one that you took back. So
it's a crazy world with the action figures, man. I tell you, because it's like you see the Ross Con every year, the Ollie's,
yeah,
all those type of stores, and it's like even Target comes along and I mean, it's not on the shelf. It seems like 2 weeks, and it hits clearance if it's still available. And it's like,
yep.
what happened to the days of having a full, stock on the shelf? Let it sit there for a year. I don't care. Somebody will buy it at the full price, but nowadays, if you don't get it when you see it, forget it. You're not getting it.
And then
at my Walmart after Christmas, I grabbed myself and I got a Punka set, the Snake Eyes with the polar bear set.
Yep.
It never even been out on the shelf at my Walmart at all. I walked in there one day and they were marked down to $20.
Yeah,
First
why?
time they were on the shelf.
Who makes these decisions?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And
meanwhile, the shelves are empty all year
in
Walmart. It's like, so why not just leave the stock there?
And that's one of the things I talk about, like on my show at times when people are like, "Oh, that thing's just gonna peg warm." It's been like, if you didn't go to Toys R Us as a kid to see empty pegs, you went there because they were full of toys. Now we don't have Toys R Us, we have Walmart and Target, and you want kids to walk down the aisle
and look at older toys.
People, but toys aren't really for adults.
No, absolutely not.
And I just think it's nuts. But hey, it's kind of the world we live in these days.
Yeah. I don't remember, like back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it took forever for something to go on clearance. I mean, it would just sit there forever.
Yeah,
it had some of those figures you'd find like a year later, and they'd have dust on them from being in the store for so long, and they still weren't marked down to clearance.
Yep.
But the pegs were never empty.
No, I can't ever remember walking into, like you said, Toys R Us and seeing anything empty ever. And it's
the only time you ever saw shelves empty is when they were moving stuff around, getting ready for a Christmas set or something like that, and they were just shifting stuff around. That was it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we live in a different day, and I don't like to be that guy. Like back in my day.
Yeah.
But,
I do. I like to be that guy.
I miss those days, especially like with the Joes. You walked into wherever retailer you had, and it was the whole aisle of them.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, okay, this week I'm going to get this, and I hope that's still there next week so I can get that. Now you go in there, and it's like a choice between 2 figures, if it's anything.
But just like I remember when I was, when the Star Wars prequels came out, they had full aisles in Walmart. One full, whatever, the 20-foot, 4-foot section, just full of both sides of just the new Star Wars toys. I was at the Walmart tonight, and they have like a little one of those cardboard boxes in the center aisle of the Star Wars stuff for the new movie that's coming out. It's like never before would that happen.
All right, so MCR Mazda says there are toys for adults, but a different convention. Very true. As toy domination. He found
Yes.
that out. No, but and you're right. Like you look at you think back to Toys R Us, and it's hard to remember that far back, but it was like you'd have half an aisle, and I mean these are long aisle. Half the aisle was G.I. Joe, and then right next to that is the next half is all Motu, and then on the other side you can have half an aisle that was Star Wars, and and then you'd have, I mean, even stuff like Eagle Force. You still have a big section of these Eagle Force and these small, these smaller properties. And it sucks that kids don't have that.
Yeah.
If you remember going to Toys R Us and like Nintendo video games, it was like 2 aisles.
Yeah.
And you take the little tag and then you'd go up there. And that's how you buy it. You'd flip the card over for Sight Bike.
Yep. Well, it's crazy. Their stores for that was GameStop, and I just went in my local GameStop, the one that's still left open. It's really sad what it's not even video games anymore. It's not any toys. I don't even know how they're staying open, to be honest with you.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, who goes there for what?
So I know GameStop has, I think they're called 50/50 stores.
Okay.
And those are the ones that get all the collectibles. They get the shirts, and then they obviously have the games. But, the fact that my daughter on her Switch can just download any game that she wants.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, my son, he's a PlayStation guy. He just downloads whatever game he wants. So there's no reason to have a hard disk. I don't even think his PlayStation has.
Most games don't even come with hard discs or game cassettes or anything anymore. So,
but it's kind of funny because I thought that would happen with the comic book world, and it really hasn't. It's actually exploded more in the opposite, with the print, and that's because of the monetary value. What are you going to do with a digital book? You're not making money on a digital book. You're just not.
Reading a digital comic just seems awful. Like
it's awful. You ever do it? It's awful.
I mean, I've looked at stuff online where you're looking through the comic pages and you're like, no, because you wanna pull that book out and look at it and explore every little point of it. And there is. So I'm not a huge Super 7 guy. I think most people know that, but I did order that the Cobra, like the first issue Cobra Commander, and I open up the comic, and the comic is like the old 80s comics, done on that type of paper. It has that smell. There's something very unique about it.
Lawrence is in the corner sniffing the books.
I tell you, when I was in Lawrence in New York the other day, we went and stopped at was it Holly's we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought a couple like the 5-pack, discounted comic book packs that they sell, And there was a couple in there from like 85, 88, and they still had the paper. You could smell them. It was that smell.
Yeah.
They had a lot, and you could tell those were not reprints.
Nope.
And if they were reprints, they were reprints back in the 80s. So
yep.
So are there any new vendors other than Boss Fight Studios that you can think of that you are having for the first time?
Savage Crucible's bringing in some new additions with him. The Frusetter Museum's coming. Trying to think of the name of the other one. We got Collegiate Legends, which was there last year, but they're bringing somebody else. Got a lot more independent toy companies this year, giving us a shot.
Okay.
But a lot of that information's going to be coming out more so after Memorial Day.
Now, Mythic or Four Horsemen, they don't have an official booth, correct?
No, but Slap Happy Toys will be carrying a large.
Okay.
Just about the same amount as we've always had.
That's what Ed was saying, and he's like, no, they've never been there, but they have like a dealer that's there. And I'm like, and they I think they do send a couple people down there.
They did, yeah.
Jeremy was there last year or the year before that. One of those, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Slap Harvey usually carries for them like in MegaCon and stuff like that. So
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because
then
they
we have
had Mythic Legions and the D13, his whatever that religious character line was that he was having. They were there last year with on that table.
yeah, yeah. We've switched some things up this year. We moved Creative Beast and Animal Warriors to the main aisle.
okay.
Well, I'm trying to better organize this year, or you get all your indies in a row, your vintage in one area, stuff like that. And of course, I take a little bit of heat occasionally. I have some oddball vendors that doesn't seem to fit one bit. But the insanity behind it is that not every family buys the same thing. And
Yep.
there's always one or two in that family that kind of bored out of their mind, and then they come across something like, I didn't think this would be here, and it works.
So, one of our local stores, which is like a Target and Walmart, is Meijer that we have here. And I don't remember where it was at, but I went through this one Meijer. I was with my kids, and it was the smartest thing. And I don't know if they did it on purpose. On one side was all the action figures, and on the other side, it was all girl stuff.
Yep.
So if you have, again, if you have a boy and a girl, now you're walking down an aisle, and here we are, and it's just like, oh, hey, look, my son can look here. Now I don't have to have one on the other aisle, and my wife or girlfriend, their mom needs to be over there with them, or God forbid you're alone, and now you have to drag the other kid around there, and usually it'll be the boy that'll be like, I don't want to be in the girl aisle. And yes, there are girl aisles and boy aisles in toy sections. I don't care what anyone wants to say, right? Like,
Well, it's like last year we had a jewelry vendor. She handmade stuff. She had earrings and stuff like that. Well, she made a killing. She absolutely made a killing. And even if they weren't there buying it, some of the guilty guys that were in there with all the money they spent, they thought, oh, maybe I'll bring something home.
Yeah, I'll bring these home to the missus and justify this $500 purchase.
Yeah, with this $3, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I got killed for that this off season, but that's the reason behind it, and why not? I mean, why not? So I think we have plenty of vendors.
Oh yeah.
So do we have? Is Skeletron still going to have the biggest and best looking booth?
Yeah, right up front.
Them and Marauder just, they do it together. It's something to, like, you could sit there all day and look at what they've done.
Yeah. No, we've got different vendors working on different things, but yeah, they are there, and there's just a lot of different little independent guys this year that are either launching a Kickstarter or just launching a series, and or just trying to get. We've got some coming from South America that are trying to launch their stuff. So
yeah, who was that guy? That guy you bought from last year, Lawrence? That little Cobra base thing that we had never seen it before. Remember that guy?
Yeah,
he's from not far from Webster. Actually, we should have looked him up.
Anthony.
Yeah.
I can't think of his. He was with the other guy. He was
with LaCroix.
LaCroix
right?
Toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony. I can't remember his last name.
Monterella.
Yes.
Yep.
Great guy. Great guy. I bought the little thing, and it fits perfect with my O-ring stuff or my 4-inch stuff, whatever you want to use. Great guy.
Cool that was cool to find that, right? We were just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Then we talked to him probably for a couple hours, different times.
He said one thing, right off the bat that we caught that I really liked. So
yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. He was from New York. That's what he said.
Yes. He said, I don't like someone. And I went, actually, he said, fuck. And I left. So what about Big Bad Workshop? Are they going to, because they had a pretty small area. Are
They
they
get
gonna
a
have
double size this year.
okay?
They've got, again, watch out for the announcements. I wish that I could say more, but
No, you know what? Again, I love that you do the announcements. I love the fact that they get to announce the stuff that they're doing. And I recently had Bill on the show and had a nice long talk with him. And he let us in on a lot of things.
what, what he's going to be doing is, we're all going to love it.
Well, I think most of us love most of the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
Actually, all my stuff's piled in a box right now because I was moving stuff around.
Yeah, I think I spent more money on Big Bad Workshop stuff this year than anything else.
Yep.
It's crazy.
They do great stuff, and they've got new and exciting stuff coming. Super 7. Just you wait and see this year. Just you wait and see.
So is Big Bad Workshop? Do they have a panel again this year? I'm assuming they do.
They will, and it's
Okay.
going to be the first panel on Saturday, and you're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be there. He's got special guests there, and he's got some things to announce. So you don't want to miss that. I believe it's either. I think it's 10 a.m. when I have it scheduled.
I guess I'll know where we having my morning coffee at.
Yeah,
My third morning coffee.
I think that's going to be the biggest panel. Just what they have to say. So,
does Skeletron happen to have one? Do you know?
I do not. I have no. They generally don't do one.
Well, they did one the first year. Well, not the first in 24. And I didn't think they did one. Because
they didn't do one last year, but they did one
last year. Because they've been waiting on the product. They finally got the product, and I'm going to tell people right now, if you have a chance to buy some of the 6-inch figures, if that's what you're into, the Skeletron stuff, it is the number one figure that you should buy if you don't have one.
Rich says he'll have his iced coffee ready.
So last year, this guy here, GI Bro Rich, we're at the restaurant, and he goes, can I get an iced coffee? She goes, we don't have iced coffee. He goes, do you have coffee? Yeah. Do you have ice? Yeah. Can you bring me a glass of ice and the coffee? She brings it over. He pours it in and he goes, see, iced coffee. Which was just awesome. Like absolutely awesome.
Now, if you go to Starbucks, that's like triple the price.
Oh, yeah.
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 Stanley wants to know, does Ramen Toy have a panel?
Actually, I haven't discussed it with him, but I bet you we could get them to do one.
Well, I mean, he's bringing an exclusive.
Yeah, he's bringing a lot of stuff. He's still got way more to announce.
Oh, I know. And Ace is an interesting fellow.
Yeah.
I like Ace, and we've chatted a lot, since first having our first run-in together. But like we get along really good, and I mean, I got the van right there. He makes really nice product. What about Fans Hobby?
It's funny you say that because a week ago I messaged them. I said, "You got anything for me to share yet?" He goes, "It's coming. Just wait." So even I don't know some of this stuff. All I'm being told is from most of these companies is get with me after Memorial Day. They all want to do it 30 days out. And, sometimes I wish I had it a little bit sooner that I could plug it everywhere. But, just the way they do things.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize, like, people are coming from all over. And you want to announce, hey, this company is going to be here, and this is what they have. Because you want people that are going to be coming from 4 states over to be like, I'm not sure if I want to go. And then next thing they go, hey, you know what? There's a lot of exclusives here. And Fans Hobby, I know last year had that for the Tiger Force Air Eagle.
Yeah, that was really cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I fought not getting it, and I'm glad I did. I just got the helicopter like yesterday, or 2 days ago. And I found it on found it on sale for like 45% off.
Nice.
Some China place, shipped out of China, cost me 54 cents, I think, to ship. But yeah, one of those, they make really good product,
Yeah.
and the acid rain stuff. I don't have any of the figures, but I know we were looking at them last year when they were there, and we're like, those look awesome.
They
And
did.
everyone that has one seems to really enjoy it.
Yep.
So,
Hey, that's the fun part. I mean, I can announce everything in the world to you and still not know everything that's going to be there. Because I'll be walking up and down the aisles checking on people, and I'll double take, and I'm like, what is that?
So David brings up a really good point. He says that's not that smart because of Yojo June announcing now, so people can budget their stuff. You're right. Like, if you know certain things are coming, then you can budget. Not everyone has the means to just be like, all right, well, I can get this, I can get that, and I'm gonna have ways to make sure it's paid for. And again, also with Yojo June, you don't have to, you're not paying for anything up front for the most part. Although there's a lot of stuff that's supposed to hit during those 2 weeks that I'll be on vacation. So I'm assuming all that's going to come in like right before JoeFest.
I'm having a hard time with this pre-ordering system as I get older. Walmart just really left such a bad taste the past couple of weeks in my mouth. It's man, that 250th anniversary stuff. I mean, everything got canceled, and it seemed like day after day I was getting an email. This is canceled. This is canceled. This is canceled. It's like, I don't know if I want to pre-order anymore. I
have no problem, but
I have the way I feel, but maybe no problem with Hasbro. I haven't been let down by Hasbro, but Walmart's been a problem.
Walmart's just, Walmart is a problem. Can we all
they sit on your money for 6 months or so, and you don't get nothing.
That's the thing. I don't know, because I use PayPal. So, and again, I get stuff in. I'm doing reviews. I'm recouping at least some of what I buy. Sometimes I pay for a whole figure. So I'm doing things a little bit different. But I only use PayPal. So I use PayPal credit or PayPal credit card. When I order from Walmart, they automatically charge you. So
yes,
you're right. Like they've been sitting on all that Duke money.
Yep.
And I don't think that they wanted to cancel.
No, I'm sure not.
We had a smaller allotment, or maybe it went past the day and it just went to an automatic cancel, and then it went right back up the next.
Come on, Punk! They took everybody's money, put it into some big investment, got lots of money off of it, then just gave it all back. They kept the profit. This
because that is what is going to make the Walmart family that much more rich.
Exactly. The Walmart family needs your help.
It just, I don't know. It just seems like a whole big waste of time this last bout, and I don't know. Maybe I felt like I don't need it as much as I thought I needed it from them. Well,
I saw your Facebook post, and you were not too happy with it.
Oh, I wasn't happy one bit. Yeah,
so, there was a lot of people that weren't too happy, but we talked about on the Circle of Jerks, and it went from, I can actually pull it up because I actually have it. Where is it at? Let's see here. I can present this, not that. But what we got with that Duke was this. Like, here it is, and then it was canceled, but nobody wanted it. Like, everyone said they didn't want it, and then everyone's losing their mind. Same with Cold Slither.
How many people ordered it then? Well, because I seen so much anger over it, and not so many people posting that they've got it. So, did they oversell it by 75%?
I don't know, but then the next day it went up, and I said, "Hey, don't worry, it went back up, but it's already sold out."
Yeah, I saw it go back up, it left such a bad taste. I didn't want it.
Yeah, the on Hasbro Pulse, it was sold out like in minutes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was like in minutes it was sold out. Because I didn't even get a chance to order it.
Yeah.
I tried and it was already sold out. And like, all right, whatever. I mean, if I really want it, I'll find a way to get it. You know, there's nothing that you can't get.
No.
You know, I have paid extra. I have paid more than retail on one G.I. Joe classified, and that was Destro. That was early on, and I think I paid like $35 for it on eBay. And this one they were $20.
You're still eating ramen noodles, aren't you?
Well, yes. And I still showcase that figure. It's still one of the best figures. So I've been lucky, and you know, we talk about it on different shows. Like, if you know, these people lose their mind over the pre-orders, and it's like, if you really want something, you'll find a way to get it. Like, you know, when they go up for sale, like, you know, when the pre-order goes up, go take a shit at that point. You know, that's what everyone else is doing. Like, every toy collector is going there, you know, because it's at one, you know, it's at 1 or at 2.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, if you really want something, you'll find a way to do it. You spent the time bitching about it on Facebook. Now it is different when it gets canceled.
Well, I think that the part of it is that you think you had it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, okay, hard part's done. I did my part. And then you get in your emails and it's like canceled. How is it not one was not canceled? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said, I think they just either their allotment came in a day late, so they just canceled it, which would be stupid, or they didn't get enough, so they canceled all of them and said, hey, the next day when it went up and all those other pre-orders that weren't supposed to go up.
Oh, I know. I saw those, and I made the conscious decision not to order.
Those aren't even Walmart exclusives either.
Are they? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, those are mainline releases.
Okay.
So why, you know, well, at least the legacy figure is a mainline release. I believe
Duke was the only exclusive to Walmart, right?
Yeah, but they had they put up the legacy Hank figure, which from my understanding is a snow rescue figure. And then they put up the Snake Eyes Varmin, that's the 4-wheeler, and the stealth Trouble Bubble. And they don't even have product pictures of them yet.
I sort of. I just decided not to. I mean, I'll take my chances with Hasbro, and if not, you know, hey, I have this little toy show that I might be able to get them at.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, they'll be available.
Just a little toy show, you might be able to.
Yeah, just might have a shot.
Yeah.
So G.I. Jetman, if you go to roboskull.com, you'll see if they have them available. I thought they got some more in.
Yeah, I do. Skeletron.com, right?
Oh yeah,
Skeletron.com. Last I checked, like a month ago, they had actual the Robo Skulls in stock and the figures, but I don't know if they still do or not.
If someone only had one of those devices, you could look it up.
Yeah. let me Google that for you.
But yeah, so and again, that Robo Skull, it's a
work of art.
It really is.
It's a work of art.
I told Bill when I had him on, I told him that assembly required, and we talked about it again when I had him on. Not Bill.
You mean Ben?
Ben. I told him, I go, if I would have known all the classified vehicles that were coming out, I would have never ordered the Robo Skull. And he looked at me and he was like, that's not, I'm like, let me finish. And I go, and I would have been disappointed in myself because it really is that nice. Yeah. And I have no connection to a Robo Skull. Like I didn't have Peletoy, so it means nothing to me. But the way they redesigned it, the sheen to it, the shininess, everything that they give you, $250, especially then, because no one really knew what people were going to do. The fact that he patented making it so it can be either a 4-inch or a 1/18 or 1/12. Genius.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
And
and
even their figures though are just phenomenal action
Yeah.
figures.
oh yeah,
Yep.
you can't complain at all. I think I have one. I have one somewhere around here.
You have a couple.
I ordered I think I ordered 10 or 11. They're just, and I mean, I have the Skeletrons on, the Skeletrons on pre-order, or already paid for, whatever. You know that new figure is going to come. The 4-inch figure that he did. You know they're going to do that. And I even messaged Ben when that one went up. I'm like, "Are you going to have those at JoeFest, or should I order it?" He's like, "We'll have some." I'm like, "All right, just as long as I know I can get one."
Yeah.
I'm not asking for anything for free. Just put one to the side to make sure that old punk gets one.
Well,
Not that I have to spend any money there, right, Ed?
No.
Yeah.
You can go to JoeFest for free.
Yes, the Roboskulls are. David agrees. Like, and it's not something you're ever going to see in a store.
No, you should though. You should see that. I mean, that's better than a lot of stuff that's out there.
Yeah. But they're amazing and great guys too. That's that's the other thing. And for me, when it comes to these independent companies, you want great toys, but you also want to support people that are good people that you talk to. They treat you with respect, and to me, that means more than anything. Hasbro, Mattel, they're corporations. They're they're there to make money, no matter how, and everyone's there to make money. But it's how you treat people, and that's why I like talking to Bill and Mike from Big Bad Workshop. Obviously, Ken and Steve from Delta 17. I mean, Ken's a really good friend of mine. Don't tell him I said that.
Hi, Ken.
Yeah, where the hell's Ken at? He's kind of pissing me off right now. He's not even showing up. He'll be like, "I was listening."
I'll just move his booth to the second floor. That's
but yeah, like I love what these independent companies are doing.
Yep.
And you're seeing more and more G.I. Joe fans obviously going to JoeFest that are realizing that there's more to collecting than just G.I. Joe.
I think there's always been a loyalty with Hasbro.
Yes.
Which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it.
G.I. Joe.
But there's definitely a whole new world out there that you can bring together,
Yeah, Lawrence and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago with somebody. Remember, Punk? And someone was saying, "Well, I don't collect G.I. Joe, so that's why I'm not going to JoeFest." And we're like, the Joe part of JoeFest is a tenth of it nowadays.
It's a toy convention with Joes. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Who the hell was it?
I don't remember who the hell we were talking to, but somebody was saying that. We corrected them fast enough.
Now I do have to say this, TK. The Dragonfly was still the best toy at 24. I know why people loved it, and for me, I have the special edition. It would come in 2. The Dragonfly is that is a work of art. Lenny and all those guys, they did a wonder. And I don't want to. I'm not putting anything down about the Roboskull because you can see it. You can see it right there. Why it's down there is because I have no more room in my house, so it has to go behind the dog's beanbag. But yeah, it's just so much fun, and the best thing about it being again 1/18 and 1/12 is that you don't notice, right? Like when you change it up, it's like, oh, it's seamless.
Yep.
So, but what else was there? Was some other stuff that we were. Ed, what do you have? Action. What do you have?
What?
You have some questions.
No, I don't have any questions. I was busy reading the chat.
Well, you're live. You can't read the chat right now.
No, I'm used to batter in the chat. It's
I know.
So,
um,
the one thing I will say though, to Ed is that like the JoeFest, even from 24 to 25, like the fact that you bring all these people together, and Lawrence and I met more people last year, than we had the year before. And now it's just like a family, reunion. And it's just amazing to see, like Lawrence was saying, there's a group of people upstairs that probably been going there for years that trade, do all the trades and stuff. Group of us to hang out downstairs, but we can all intermingle. I walk down the hallway from, the lobby back to where the convention is, get my steps in for the day. And not one person won't give you a head nod or say hi or, just be friendly. And it's just, that whole atmosphere is just awesome to, experience, And I stood in line the first year and everybody in line was just having this conversation. It was like one big conversation of thousands of people standing in this line waiting to get into the show.
Because everybody's just happy at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the great part.
Yeah.
I think so. And I've said this before. I'm like, and there's been a few people that they said, I just drove out here by myself. Rich came from California, GI bro, didn't know anyone. He got back into GI Joe. He found my YouTube channel and some others, and he just flew out there, and he became a great friend, right? So all these people, they just, I tell people, I'm like, you don't have to know anyone because you're all there for like-minded things. And I think the other thing, to piggyback what, Akxion Figs here says, if you're there if you're going Thursday and you don't leave till Monday, you don't care about anything. You don't have work the next day. You're not worried about when you wake up. You're not worried about driving back to the hotel because you're already there. It just
let me ask you an oddball question, all right? Two questions. I'm a sports fan as it is, all right?
Yeah.
I'm big baseball nut. And if I don't know what the score of the game is that day, shame on me, all right? Or if there's some kind of breaking news in the world, right? That weekend, when I get back online on Monday, I am shocked by all the things that happened over the weekend. I had no clue about because I didn't care.
Yep.
I didn't have one care in the world about it. And it just takes you away from your reality that you're in.
Yeah. That's 100% it. Like I said, we got there, we get there Thursday night and we usually hit the toy store Friday. And then we might walk over to the restaurant on a Sunday morning or something. But other than that, we don't leave. And the world could be burning up around us and I wouldn't know what's outside that hotel.
Yep.
I still know everything that's going on. I'm not gonna lie. I still know everything that's going on.
I've changed my notifications for years. I turn them all off. I don't care what's going on in the world. I really don't.
Yeah.
So
no, and again, some people can do it, and that's good. And there's some people that, there was some stuff going on in 24, a bunch of drama, and there were some people that became really obsessed with it. And I was like, I don't really give a shit. I'm here with my friends, and nothing with the show, but something with some YouTubers. And I don't really give a shit. Like, someone can say whatever they want about me right now. I don't really care.
Yeah,
we're here. They're not here. That's why they're running their mouth. I'm here. I'm having a good time with my friends.
That's all I care about. The friends and family. Just make sure everybody's that's in your immediate family, wherever they're at. I'll get a message if something happened. But other than that, I'm good. Leave me alone. This is what I look forward to.
And for me, it's like, I'm there to have a good time. There's a lot of guys, they want to create content. And I do my walkthrough. And I will do it again. I'll wake up Saturday morning. I'll go down as the show is opening up. So, people can see everything. And I'll probably go upstairs and upload it right away. Because there's no real editing to it, right? I'm just doing a walkthrough to show everyone, how it's set up. So for next year, they can come up. I know I did the same thing for Assembly Required, which is way smaller, and I did it Friday night because it's only a Friday and Saturday show.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday, guy comes up, Sean Forrester, and he says, "I saw your video, and I was like, I live an hour away. I've never been to the show. I need to go." And I go, "That's why I actually did it on Friday, hoping that if anyone's in the area, maybe they'll see it and they'll come up." So there was at least one person that came up, and that's really the only content I want to create because
That's different.
I get so crazy when I'm there, Ed, that I meet these people and talk to these people and stuff, and I never take pictures. And I'm always like, this year I'm going to take more pictures, and I've yet to be able to take more pictures.
Oh, that's the same for me. I want to do like little
pictures.
I want little videos, and also I can use to promote the next year. I never have time. I never even think about it, to be honest with you.
That's it.
And that's the one thing I'm good at is taking pictures.
I might have to hire you.
Well, I'm good at taking pictures of me with.
Yeah.
Because
if you don't mind all your pictures being with Punk in there, then you're okay. You're okay, Ed. He's got a big ego.
I actually had people ask like last year because after JoeFest and I did a show and I'm showing all the pictures and they're like, "Why are you in every picture?" Because they're my fucking pictures. That's why. It's pretty simple, right? Like they're my pictures. I'm not taking pictures of other people. That's creepy. All right.
I told Punk like a month ago I was just gonna walk around with the Sharpie and pictures of Punk and just have people charge $5 for autographs of Punk, and then I could just get my JoeFest paid for.
So, in all reality, it becomes a joke that I'm kind of a big deal, right? It's just become this joke. But I have a hard time. 24 was one thing, 25, so many people would stop me just wanting to talk, right? And Ed was making jokes. Ed and Tony would make jokes about it all the time. So here we are, we're walking, and there were these guys trying, like they were taking a picture, and I kind of stopped everyone. So they could take their picture. And I almost turned around to Ed and said, "Hey, look, they didn't ask to take a picture." And all of a sudden the guy goes, "Oh my God, Punk." And Ed watched the whole thing and he's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "See, it's not even me."
I'm gonna have to get David with the megaphone and Punk in aisle 2.
Make sure you announce it's $5 for an autograph.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get my cut out of it, so I'll make it 6.
I'll give you your cut. I'm always willing to share with another Ed. Don't worry about that.
But no, it's again, I'm good with taking pictures of me with people because I want those memories. And I have a book, right? And I did it last year where I put all the pictures from 24 and everyone that I took a picture with or that we spent time with, I had them sign the book. It's just a memory book. And I did, and I've already ordered the pictures. I have all of them, but 1 or 2 that are already in the book for this year. And I'll be taking the book again. And everyone that was there last year, I want them to sign it. And again, I'm not a signature guy. It's just a cool memory of everything.
Yeah, cool keepsake. Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I'm good with is, but I'm not only at conventions like that. I didn't take a picture with Ed when we met up, in New York.
Nope. He probably took pictures of me when I was sleeping, but that's.
No, I was just gonna say it might be a little too personal here. So
I had the camera that I installed that recorded it all, so don't worry. That's I like those memories. That's what I like to have. But it's really I only do it at these shows. I did it at Assembly Required. Man, I've been skateboarding for years, and I'm I have no pictures of us skateboarding. And because it's weird to ask a buddy that you've known for 30 years to be like, "Hey, dude, let's take a quick picture together." That's just kind of weird. But these people you're not going to see for a year, it's just one of those things that you just want to snap a picture and you have that quick memory. And there are people that I totally missed. That I totally missed. I went through the book and I'm like, dude, I didn't get a picture with this guy. I didn't get a picture with that guy because you're too busy just having that conversation with them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I didn't get a picture with Wilhelm, Ed, but I got a picture of his kid passed out.
You didn't get a picture with Will this year?
No,
This past
but I
year?
got a
That's
picture of
crazy.
his kid passed out drunk. I thought his kid was just like sitting there quiet. He was like this.
Oh, he was toasted, man. He
And I
was
was like,
toasted.
and they're just laughing. And I'm like, is he sleeping? They're like, he's
Is
passed
he
out.
okay? Yeah.
He was up bright and early to work the Delta 17 booth the next day, so that's all that matters.
Man, I tell you, come Sunday, it is hard to get up. It is. I'm exhausted after Friday and Saturday.
Oh, I'm
I
still
think
going.
Sunday night we went to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, and I
Oh,
was up on the road driving home to New York at like 8.
Oh,
Man, about halfway through that drive, I was done.
Well, you
yeah.
went to your daughter. You woke me up saying, "Hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to see my daughter."
Yeah. Well, my daughter's stationed at Sumter in
Yeah.
South Carolina, so
Yep.
I was headed to see her for a couple hours, then drive home. But man,
And, like,
it was
Yeah, because so Sunday in 24, I had to drive home, and I told the guys, I'm like, "Hey, I got to get some sleep." And of course, I make it upstairs, and next thing I know, it's an hour and a half that we're talking. So this year, I was just like, I don't fucking care. You know, like I'm driving, I will stop. I don't work for 2 more days. So I'll stop and sleep in my car if I need to. So I don't think we went up to the hotel till 3:30, because that was, we were in the lobby that late.
Wow.
And there was a bunch of us. And it's like, I'm not going to see most of these guys for a year.
That's because people don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
It comes and it goes, and it goes so quickly at times. It feels like,
And it's
Ken
gotta
and I from Toy Connections from Delta 17 there. We were talking last year on Monday night because he got sick the last day there, just whatever. And we were talking Monday night when I got home, and we were both like, "Man, I just want to go back already." It's like the weekend went by so fast. It's like you get there Thursday, next thing you know, it's Monday morning. You're like, "Damn."
yeah. Yep.
So this GI bro, he goes, I literally said, not everyone knows you, Lawrence. And then the guy did. I mean, I don't know what I mean, it happens, right? Billy Butch says, enjoy the celebrity and do good work by the people who admire you to do. For some, meeting you or being seen by you might become the highlight. It's very true. And I've said that before. It's like, if someone needs 5 minutes, like, I'm no different than anyone else. You're no different. Brad Pitt's no fucking different. And this is going to sound pretty morbid, but it goes back to when my mom died. And I remember when Princess Diana died, I'm like, everyone was like mourning. I'm like, first off, she's not even our princess. And she's no different than everyone else, So for me, I'm just like, stop someone and say hi to them. Don't interrupt them in the middle of a conversation. We all know that person, but if you kind of wave, someone should have the courtesy to be like, oh, hey, that person, they want to say hi to me, and stop and talk to them for like 5 minutes. But it is true. Like, I'm no different than anyone else, but I was willing to put myself on YouTube and do a show and do reviews. So stop and say hi and have a conversation. And, it doesn't mean
This year at JoeFest, make sure everybody stops and says hi to me and ignore Punk. We want to bring his ego back down to normal size.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not the worst thing to be able to walk through the aisle without being stopped 2 or 3 times.
Valid.
Because you walked away plenty of times, right?
I had to. I couldn't stand it anymore. Me and Tony were done. We were like, this guy, man.
And then this guy shows up, your partner, who
Oh yeah,
I'm waiting on the rest of my stands. You don't really wait a minute. No. Travis, you have been hitting all these other conventions, so don't give us this. For 3 years now, you said that you wish you could have made it to JoeFest. I don't want to hear it. Don't go to some of these other shows. Go to this one.
Yeah, look at how many people actually come down from New York. There's me, Jetman's coming this year. Plastic
Plastic
Fantastic and
Fantastic.
Depot's coming. You got what's his name there? The one Dojo, U.S. Combat Dojo's coming
Yep.
from New York. You could hitch a ride easily. Don't make excuses.
2027. We're already working on 2027. That's going to be our 10th anniversary, and I want to do something special. And I've got a couple of things lined up that I'm considering.
Now, how many years have you been doing this?
This will be the 9th year.
Okay, so
That's why 2027 is going to be the 10th anniversary, Punk.
Woo! You did the math.
I was trying to read your idiot partner comment where he says, what one have I done since which one have I made it to since PowerCon? Well, while I was in New York, you could have come over, but you decided to go do a show.
Yeah,
and now,
Toy Con, New Jersey.
now you're deciding not to go to JoeFest, and you could have done that one. I'm just saying. You asked. I'm telling you. Oh, look at this. I'm calling BS.
Well, we got it in writing. Screenshot that. We got it in. We got it in writing now. He's stuck.
I'm trying to eliminate all Travises from going to JoeFest.
Come to JoeFest unless your name is Travis.
They know Travis Fest. So can you say what you are hoping to do for the 10th anniversary?
We've been talking a couple things.
Fireworks.
That's kind of right up there. Exactly. We're talking concert, possibly.
No. How much longer do you think that you're going to do this? Or do you not have or are you just like, hey, until we go?
Until it's not fun. Nah, I mean, that's what I've been telling everybody all along. It's never been about the dollar.
Yeah.
It's about if I want to keep doing it and I'm having fun doing it. Once it's not fun, and trust me, there's some days anything's not fun in whatever you do. But for the most part, it brings you joy, brings a lot of people joy. So
I know, when we've talked in the past, you said Sunday is when you can finally go, okay, it's done. Now you can actually enjoy it. But when the whole show is over, that week, the next weekend, are you able finally to sit back and just be like, that went well. I'm really happy and I enjoyed myself, even though I had some stressful times because you're trying to make sure everything goes smoothly. Are you able to sit back and realize and enjoy what you did?
honestly, that's not me. The last couple of years it's like I won't look at the internet. I'll do like a post or two, thanking people after it. And then I won't look at it for, I want to say, a week to up to like 3 weeks. I won't look at it. And
Okay.
I will bash myself going, I can't believe I screwed this up. I screwed that up. I did that wrong. Should have done this.
So you're like Tom Brady. You think about the 3 Super Bowls you lost rather than the 7 you
Oh,
won.
yeah, absolutely. That's always going to be me.
And every athlete says that, right? You think about the ones you lost, not the ones.
Yeah. I just feel like I could do so much better on some things, and it is what it is.
And Jetman, for the record, Matthew feels he is too good for JoeFest. He constantly gives us excuses on why he can't go. So once again, we will have to use Carson, who somewhat looks like Matthew, as the fill-in for my moderator when we take our mod pitcher.
He's one of those pores anyway, Matt Lawrence. So we wouldn't want him there anyway.
The pores.
Yeah, one of those pores. We wouldn't want him there. Oh, look, he's already throwing excuses out there. Not true. I just can't go. You were in Georgia like a week before JoeFest last year. You could have stayed.
One week before he was there in Georgia, and we're like, come on. You can make it one day. Anyway, trying to think of some other stuff. I don't usually get hung up on things to talk about.
I know you're doing good, Ed. You stumped Lawrence. You made him stop talking for 5 seconds. You did good.
Well, that's why I have you on to talk about it a little
Yeah.
bit more.
So Ed, is there any like vendors or special guests this year you're really looking forward to seeing?
You know, one celebrity we're bringing in, Dan, and I don't know how to say his last name. It Gil's Gilvezan. I don't know how do you say that, but he was the voice of Bumblebee and did some Joe characters, and he's a first time guest. Really excited to meet him. Excited to meet Chris Mooneyham. Works on the comics right now. Always been a big fan of him. I've been trying to get him for years. I like the independent toy companies. It's just always been my thing. I think that they make the best stuff out there because they're not limited by a corporate board.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was saying about Lenny going to Boss Fight, right? Because everyone's like, I can't believe he's leaving. I'm like, well, he wants to do something more creative, right? He can't do it at Hasbro. Not because he doesn't have the talent, just Hasbro doesn't allow you to do that stuff.
I wonder what he's going to be doing. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
I'll say I think Lenny may have been. I think one of the reasons why they may have gone after Lenny is because you look at his work with the animals, and you look at someone like the monstrous figures, like the Cobra La stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of what Boss Fight wants to do. I mean, I'm not criticizing the other stuff because I have every figure in multiples of most of them, but he has a very special knack for that, and it's awesome. So I think with Boss Fight Studios, and I think they make good product. I know there's controversy around them, but I don't know the inner workings. I just don't think that somebody would leave Hasbro if they didn't have some pretty good assurances of what they can do and what they're going to be doing.
I think it's I don't know what you're talking about with what you saying, but I know this new regime with Corey, and I'm starting to talk with Lenny, and Lenny seems like an amazing guy. I can't wait to meet him. But them trying to get the company out there by giving us the opportunity at least to showcase them. I think when a company realizes that they can't just be online or down the aisles of a Walmart, but if they go to a show and they actually meet the people, that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
big difference. Because sort of like Marauders. Man, I love those guys. I will buy anything they put out there. It doesn't even matter.
That's how I feel about Bill from Big Bad. Like I saw the Monster Force stuff at PowerCon of 2023, and then last year at JoeFest I got to meet him. I was talking to him for a while and just talk to him. He's so passionate about the stuff. You're not going to see that if you're just walking on a toy aisle picking out the stuff, right? You're not seeing the guy behind it and how passionate they are about actually creating that stuff as a fan and as a creator.
Yep. And that's the difference than our convention is compared to like a San Diego. You can go up to them and talk to them here. I seen one comment online that somebody said, hey, I want to come meet this celebrity. I'm afraid I'm only going to just get the signature and it's got to be run off. No, that's not the case here. This is you'll have your time. They'll talk to you here. They'll give you the time, the effort.
Yeah, it was awesome because about 10 years ago, well, probably 8 years ago, I met Larry Hama at one of the local cons here, and just talking to him, I was in the army back in the day.
I'd just like to let you know Matthew has also met Larry Hama.
I know several times. But anyway, I was talking to Larry and he brought me behind his table at the con and he was showing me pictures on his phone, all this stuff, right? So when I went up and talked to him at JoeFest last year, got a picture with him. He talked to him again for, 5 minutes. And there was a line, so I didn't want to take up everybody else's time, but he would have sat there and talked to me for another 10 minutes if I, didn't excuse myself. And it's just cool, Then you 2024 Sergeant Slaughter sat with us down in the lobby for 2 hours, hanging out with us and stuff, right? It was awesome.
I don't know if these I know Sarge does, but you could go to any convention and buy an autograph, but where you can get, like you said, you see the human side of them, man, it's just a difference.
Yeah.
You're not you're not just a fan anymore. You really got an attachment. It's something you'll always remember for sure.
Oh yeah, and so in 24 we totally saw the human side of Sarge as he sat there for 2 hours. And last year we got to see the human side of him drunk, trying to get to the elevator, and his manager having to help him to get to it.
Yeah.
He didn't sit with us that day. But no, you're absolutely correct. And Larry Hama, he was walking around early in the show, I think on Saturday, and he stopped over the Delta 17, and Ken was just I got the picture in the opening right there. But he is just Ken was over the moon. Oh, can we take a picture? And he took a wonderful picture. It's just, he seemed like such a nice guy. And you never hear a bad word about him.
Yeah, no. If somebody makes something up, that's usually because they're just disappointed that they couldn't make it there or something like that. But
he changed Punk's mind because Punk hated Sarge because he turned his back on Hulk Hogan in America.
Well, he didn't change my mind. I just said he was a nice guy. He still turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. And I told him that. He's a fucking wrestler, all right? He understands it.
Yeah.
So will Seth Green be there again?
From what I told, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just like to once again reiterate that he is noticeably shorter than me. So his IMDb being 5'4" is bullshit.
Yes. Punk just likes to know that he's not the shortest actual adult male in the building.
I like that it was noticeable that he was. So in all honesty, we saw him, he was right by the Delta 17, and I would not have gone up to him. I wouldn't have gone up to him other than my daughter and I were in the middle of watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I went up to him and said, "Hey, I know you're busy. Can I get a picture?" And he wanted to get going, and so he actually took my phone. He's like, but I told him, "Hey, my daughter and I are watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's gonna be over the moon." So I went and took a picture, and I sent the picture to her, and then I called her, and she couldn't figure out who it was because obviously.
The best part is that the girl he was with, his manager or whoever she was, recognized Punk and Seth didn't.
Which just goes to, again, the people have recognized me.
Sierra is a cool person. She's great.
Akxion JoeFest says, being in Texas, I see that at DFW GI Joe shows where the celebs are more accessible and they will talk to you. Plus, I'm a 1/6 scale Joe collector. No, and again, I know we go back and forth about the DFW stuff. It's all in good fun, and again, I think a lot of these shows where you get the celebrities that are coming, they're not the big celebrities. And what I mean by that, they're not Brad Pitt. These are people that know that the reason why they are relevant is because of a small select few people. And the reason why they have stayed so relevant is because how they act towards people. If you're a douchebag towards people, they remember. And then no one wants you around. So, and
it's like you said, Lawrence, right? Like Sergeant Slaughter, the way he acts throughout most of the JoeFest. You know, always yelling "Yo Joe," and you know, if somebody says hi to him, he's always willing to stop. I mean, if he was a jerk, no one would care anymore, right? He wouldn't be getting his autographs and be. And you even said it yourself that they couldn't have picked a better guy to be, you know, the face of GI Joe at that point in time.
And that's what people had told me. And D, she's Red from Sergeant Rez. That's his wife. She couldn't talk more glowingly about the guy because they have autograph signings and they had him. And she's like, he's the most wonderful guy. He's so nice. He's kind. We went out to dinner. Her thing was, she goes, he loves his wife. And I'm like, well, that's good. They're married. And she's like, no. When we were talking, I asked about his wife and his eyes lit up. Like he couldn't talk more glowingly about his wife of 50 years or whatever. It was like they had just met, like he just started dating. And look who shows up. It is Ken from Toy Connections.
Hi, Ken.
I'll say hi to Ed. Everyone say hi to Ken, or else all hell will break loose if we don't say hi to Ken.
Acknowledge me.
Ken, you're upstairs.
He's now been moved. He's now been moved outside. He's in the garage.
Yep.
That's thanks to me. Just because you weren't here. All right. So, Ed, let me ask you this: Are there any vendors that you've had in the past that no longer come that you would love to have back?
I don't know who hasn't come back.
Okay. And that's what my question is, like, if there are people, because you said, I thought that the Four Horsemen were there, but they've never been there.
Yeah, they've sent out like a street team. That's what they called them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Street team. Yeah. So
yeah. Next question.
I would love to have them out.
So is there anyone that you would like to have that hasn't come or that isn't coming, other than like Hasbro and the GI Joe team? Have you ever like reached out to like the Masters of the Universe like team? I mean, I know it's not like, how is it called? Motu Fest?
Motuniverse.
Motu.
Motuniverse.
Universe.
Never heard that, but okay. Yeah. Never heard it like that.
They're putting on in California this year, Motuniverse. Kind of taking over where the old PowerCon used to be in California. Now they're doing Motuniverse out there.
Isn't there a PowerCon now still going on? Or starting back up?
Not in California, though.
Yeah, out there, is it Indiana or something?
Well, PowerCon was in Ohio. It was in Ohio, yeah. But they picked up because there's not a lot of big conventions in California except for San Diego, of course. And so they wanted to have like a PowerCon style thing out there. So
David says Skybound, and I think that would have Kirkman out there, who's writing the GI Joe or help him write.
I've tried and tried and tried and tried. And I've tried. I don't know what else to do anymore.
So you said you got 600 people that are on your wait list, right?
Yeah.
Roughly 600 vendors that are on wait list. How do you see yourself expanding even more into more of the hotel or a bigger place sometime to be able to accommodate more of those people? I mean, I wouldn't want you to change the hotel because I love it there, but that's just, my personal.
I've gotten feedback that people want me to move it out of here. They liked, just say the last JoeCon was in Chattanooga. I did a post up in a Facebook group, and I said, what did you like about the last JoeCon? And just about every comment under it was, they loved the city. There was so much to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The interesting thing is that I did not see one comment that said, I loved the convention that year.
Yeah.
And
see, that's the difference, I think, like with Lawrence and I, right, and a bunch of others that we go to the show with. We don't care about what's outside that hotel, right? It's like, I'm not worried about you having it in Atlanta so I can go check out the Atlanta nightlife after the show or whatever, right? I'm going to stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
But I do understand not everybody wants that. I do get that.
Oh, 100%.
But I think the majority of the people that are looking at this as like this is my vacation, my 1 yearly vacation, my one man trip.
Yep.
I think that's what they enjoy. And that's why every time that you talk about maybe we should move, I'm like, I don't like if you could go to Tennessee, which is closer for me, I would love, and you're gonna have the same atmosphere where I don't have to leave, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I would fear you move to another location and then you have a hotel staff that's like, you guys need to be out of the lobby by 12. And then that ruins the whole vibe of what is made, in my opinion, this whole trip, this whole show, as wonderful as it is. It takes away the magic.
Yep. Well, that's what I've been told. I mean, we could get into the Dallas thing, and I've had some people say, well, there's just nothing else for me in Augusta, so that's why I'm going to Dallas. I want more outside the show. Okay, that's fine, but I used to take that stuff to heart, and I've kind of realized at this point that I can't make everybody happy, but what I can do is I can try to make the best damn show I can make.
Yeah,
and that's all I can
put on
do.
a good show, right? Your job is to put on a good show. If they want something on the afterwards, then Augusta is not that far from Atlanta. The show ends at 5. It's plenty of time to get to Atlanta and go see the sights and then come back.
Yeah, or Charlotte, or Savannah, or Charleston, or Asheville, or Columbia, or Greenville.
Yeah.
How far is Savannah?
2.5. Everything is 2.5 from here. Atlanta's 2.5. Charlotte's 2.5. Charleston's 2.5. Greenville's 2.5.
Okay.
Columbia's an hour. Asheville's 3.5. I mean, every direction you go in, there's something different,
Yeah, and like I said, for me, it's like, and I think Ed feels the same way here. For me, it's like I'm going there, and I don't need to get in my car. In 24, we didn't drive anywhere. And then in 25, we only drove to the toy store, which is only 20 minutes away, if that.
Mm-hmm.
We walked into town and had breakfast a couple of days. For the most part, you just go back to the hotel and eat. I'm not having DoorDash bring me food or anything. The only gripe, and I think you've heard this gripe before, we talked about it, is that the hotel bar or the hotel restaurant needs to stay open later.
And I've tried.
But they probably don't do it for the Masters, right? The Masters is right over there, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can imagine how packed they are for if they're not going to do it for the Masters, they're not doing it for JoeFest.
No.
And it sucks because I think they would make a lot more money, but I would assume, you have the Masters, JoeFest, they have other conventions.
Yeah, the problem also is that like with places like that, if they said, okay, well, we'll stay up until midnight or 1, then it's okay, we're open till 2, and we're really cleaning up at 3 or 4, right? Because that's how it rolls.
Yeah.
First up, Ken, you miss so much when you're drunk trying to get in the woman's bathroom because you don't know where it is. So don't talk about us leaving the hotel for an hour or two. Remember the gummies you took and then disappeared for a night?
You left the hotel to go out to dinner anyway. So what are you talking about, Ken? I know you don't remember it, but come on.
That's right. Didn't all of Delta 17 go out to dinner? I wasn't invited to that. I know that.
I wasn't invited.
I wasn't either.
Lobby.
Yeah.
Now you're really upstairs.
No, he's in the hallway upstairs.
Ken, you are now in front of your own hotel room.
That's right. And you get a TV tray. You get a TV size tray for your show.
Ken's like, why the hell did I tune in this?
He's like, where's Steve to back me up on this stuff?
I see. I think the biggest secret is having the hotel connected to the convention center. And I mean, it's no secret. I've been looking. We've been looking for years, trying to find some place to replicate what we have. And
It's gonna be
whenever
hard.
you do find it, you find the cost much different.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I
no,
said, it's sad that you got to leave 600 vendors out, but like like you were just saying, right? First of all, you got bigger costs if you go to a different hotel that's bigger, can accommodate more people. You also have, you lose that vibe. Like that hotel just knows that that's going to happen that weekend, right? They just know what it's about. No
Yep.
one's, telling everybody to leave the lobby at midnight, and
Yeah.
no, because you guys talked about it, right?
No, Steve didn't rat you out. Oz ratted you guys out. He made sure everybody knew he was going out to dinner without the 17. It's Oz's fault. Blame it on Oz, Ken. Steve was like, just leave me out of this. I'm going to dinner.
Yeah, and there was like, dude, there was like 15 of you,
Yeah,
but I know us three weren't invited.
that's right. Larry and his brother Ed and his brother Ed.
I mean, I do remember being at the bar, and then all of a sudden I had a one of those cloth napkins whipped at me, and I turned over, and Ed down here is like has this giggling laugh on him.
It's the little things. It's the little things.
It's things like that. Like you threw it at me, and then you were trying to act like you, but it's like it's those little things of listen, you're the star of this, and you're just telling some little YouTuber, hey dude, I know you, man.
Are we talking about the height again? Or are we?
I am noticeably taller than Seth Green.
Yeah. And hey, Ed, you probably don't know this, but last year, I mean, this is how much fun and popular your show has become. Last year, one of the guys that hangs out with us, Sharlock, he brought his wife with him to the show, and it was their anniversary weekend. And they got to go. He got to bring her to the show because she knows that's how important it is to him to go there. And it was their anniversary weekend. He took her on a canoe trip or something up the river there, but
Yep.
most of the time he was at the show with his wife. It was, how cool is that?
No,
Stanley
now-
brought his wife, and
There are other things to do around here. It's just that, golly, I'm one person. I want to promote everything, but I just can't. I don't have enough time. So, but there are things like even across the street at the hotel. There's an art museum that's two or three levels. It's got artwork from all different eras, and it's free on Sundays. And
oh yeah, Clint, you're right. Sorry, it was Charlock's wife's birthday, not their anniversary. That's
yeah,
right.
and now Sharlock is no longer on social media, took a break, so I can't confirm or deny if he's divorced because of that. There's always a chance because
Well, if he's divorced, he can just spoon with Tony. Then it's easier.
remember the number one reason for divorce is marriage.
Yep.
Wow, I'm gonna remember that one.
If you don't get married, you can't get divorced. No, but yeah. So can you think of anyone that you want to bring on in the future? Let me ask you. If Hasbro contacted you tomorrow and said, "Hey, we want to bring the G.I. Joe team," which would be pretty awkward considering Lenny's already there and and Corey left. Would you be able to find a space for them, or would you be like, nothing I can do?
Wow, you're talking crazy questions there. I mean, yeah, that would be a great addition to the show, but where am I going to put them?
It's literally called JoeFest.
We can give them Doug the 17's booth.
Well, yeah,
they're
We're going to be outside.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I know that wouldn't happen a month out, but
we love you, Ken.
So David is saying McFarlane. No, that's okay. And NECA.
NECA is hard to get on. I mean, NECA doesn't. They do the large. You know,
Well, they were at PowerCon, the last one,
or
They
they.
did
along
PowerCon,
with
but
Boss Fight Studios.
they don't do any selling though. They just show off their stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ace goes over and he measures it up so he can do it
Yeah.
cheaper.
Right.
I swear to God, at PowerCon, when they showed off the turtle layer, I swear to God that Ace was over there with the tape measure measuring it, because by the end of the show, he's like, "Yeah, I have my own coming out." And it's gonna fit that. Look, clearly Ken was calling Steve, going,
Yeah.
"They're trying to get us in the lobby. They're trying to move us. We're only trying to get Ken in the lobby."
Right. You're gonna be fine. See, it's just Ken. It's just Ken.
Ken's gonna have a TV tray.
What we'll do is, you know, those stand-ups that they had for the Skeletron in 2024.
Yes.
We'll get one of those and cut the face on. Just have Ken stand there with his face in there like this. Photo taking opportunities. Tell everybody which way the convention is.
Todd C, is Lenny showing up at JoeFest? Yes, Lenny and Corey, along with who's the third person with Boss Fight Studios?
Henry Hall. He's been a long time designer with them, toy designer.
So yeah, so Boss Fight Studios is coming for the first time. Oddly enough, they have the exact same booth that Delta 17 was supposed to have, but hey, you know what? Shit happens. Steve's like, "What the hell happened, Ken?
Yeah.
What the hell did you do?"
Yeah. He's like, "Ken, you're supposed to be my marketing manager, not making me loot stuff. What the hell? You're fired, man."
By the end of the show, a Delta 17 is going to be in the indoor pool that no one knows
Right.
where it's at.
I got lost going down to the indoor pool last year. I can't
I've
remember.
been wanting to do that pool.
Couldn't figure out how to get back up half the time. I was like, "Where the hell am I?"
It's like down in the basement next to the garage. You know?
Yeah. Ken is a nice person, but too bad he's somehow found a way to get Delta 17 almost out in the parking lot.
We'll bribe you with exclusives.
You're out in the parking lot, but we're gonna give you not a tent, but just an umbrella to keep you guys a little cooler. We'll bribe you with exclusives.
We'll put Ken in Delta 17 in that little tunnel that goes down to the river outside. That'll be perfect. It's shaded.
Ooh, yeah.
It's good.
I will say this, that in 24, like, we all wanted to go out to breakfast, and I was aggravated because the guys were flying out, and I'm like, dude, I'm driving, so let's get up and move, guys. So I went upstairs and I went outside, and I had pants on, and I decided to walk that path. Let me just say, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was about 90 to 95% humidity, and it was probably already 85 to 90 degrees. And I made it all the way to the highway. And I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Now I got to walk back.
And I still got back before anyone was ready, which was also very aggravating.
Welcome to Augusta. Oof.
A Pop Blender is jumping in here saying can't wait to get down there again this year. So yeah, Pop is another person that's him and his cousin 3-Star, they go and they literally bring in their own coffee maker, which I think is kind of overkill, but I also don't drink coffee, so I don't care. But they're all they load up their, but I don't know, you guys will have a lot to bring in too, Ed, just so you know. Remember, I'm bringing stuff down for my family too, for when we go down to Florida, and I'm like, I'm not leaving it in the car. There's no way I'm leaving a car full of stuff.
I think that's a good fee for Tony to earn his keep for the night for Thursday.
You know what? You are correct.
Yeah.
That freeloader.
Yeah.
Look at Pop here. It's so damn hot down there in late June. Dude, is it
Yeah,
really that much cooler where you're at?
I was just gonna say, Pop's in Tennessee, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not really that much cooler. The humidity is awful.
Yeah,
And
the
then
humidity
coming
is
from Michigan, we have, 60 to 80% humidity. So it's bad. But when you get down there and you forget because you're in the convention the whole time and you walk outside and you go and you just feel like you've been crushed, you're like, man.
If that AC ever stopped, it'd be a disaster.
Oh yeah.
And I heard so many people complain about how cold it is in the convention. And I'm like, I'm never cold.
No, it's perfect in there.
Yeah. If you're not moving, it does feel cold, but
So David is saying it's cooler than in Florida, which guess where I'm driving right after.
Well, it'd be a good warm-up week for you to get used to the humidity before you drive down to Disney World.
And last year up here in Michigan, it was in the 90s, in the mid 90s, and like 85% humidity the week before. And I'm like, this is just a warm up. Like, this is awesome. I'll get down there and I'll feel great. And again, I don't really care about the heat. It doesn't really matter. And also, like when you're coming back from breakfast and everyone else has to carry all this shit that someone gave you, it's good. I don't think Michael's bringing that much stuff for me this year.
I already told him not to.
Don't worry. I have 2 big boxes from Woody. Stanley saying the humidity is killer coming from Seattle.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people. I don't even care about it's hot. It's
summer. It's supposed to be hot. So
yeah, exactly.
Living here in Michigan, and when I hear people bitch about it being cold in January, I'm like, yeah, what'd you expect?
Yeah.
It's cold. It's cold in February, in January. You know what it's like, Ed.
Being here in Buffalo, I tell people all the time, it's like the same people that are bitching about it being too cold in the winter always bitch about it being too hot in the summer here. And it's like, then move to San Diego, where it could be a nice 70 degrees for you all the time, because I don't want to hear it.
And I'll take 95 with humidity over 20 degrees and cloudy and wind every day. And as you get older,
after this past winter, I was in the negatives for almost 6 weeks straight, sitting at 0 to the negative. I'll take a couple of days in 90 degrees anytime.
Yeah. As you get older, that heat helps loosen those joints, because we all know as we get older in the winter, like you walk outside and you're like, oh my gosh. Everything now hurts me.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you would like to say to anyone before we start to wrap this up, and about coming out to JoeFest, if there's anything they're looking for or looking to do?
No, just give us a shot, give us a chance, and if you already came and then you're coming back, thank you. Appreciate the support, but you'll find something for everybody there.
Do you have any other shows you're going to be doing? Do you have any other YouTube shows that you're going to be on leading into it that you know of yet?
I believe there's one more, but I can't. I set up the date for it, I remember, but I can't remember. It's in my calendar, and I just go day by day at this point,
Yeah, see, like, I know, like, I even told Akxion up here, I was like, he hasn't read my text. He responded last week, said, "Yep, we're still good." But when it's someone you don't talk to all the time, you're like, God, I hope they show up. God, I hope
they showed up, and when you pull down the pull message, and I read that, and then I swiped it away. Like, I know.
But you're still worried
he doesn't think that doing it. So,
well, it was weird because like you hadn't read it, but then you promoted on your page, and I'm like, So he knows.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's no big deal. It's again, I've done
I
this
wake
long
up in
enough.
the morning and I've got messages from this platform, that platform,
Yeah.
emails, and it's like it can be a bit overwhelming at times, and sometimes you see the message, but you're already thinking 10 steps ahead.
Yes.
Like,
I get
okay,
it all the time.
I know I got tonight, so I move on to the next. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
no,
And you're right about the pull down. Like I get that all the time because I'm getting Instagram messages, and then I'll be like, man, I got 7 Instagram, messages. I'll start reading them, and then one will be like 5 down that's already been read. I'm like, oh, I never clicked it because, like you
yeah,
said, it's on the pull
I
down
saw
screen.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, those notifications on your phone are dangerous because I do that all the time. Look at a text and then I forget that it was sent I never replied because I just looked at it real quick and yep, okay, I'll reply to that later, and then I never get to it.
yeah. I mean, this is the time of year that it's in between your day job that you got, and it's just a lot. We had a passing in the family a couple weeks back, so that's been taking some time. Then we've had some life changes here in the family with a couple of our kids, so it's just it's a crazy time of year for me personally, but it's not
So
that I'm disregarding. I'm busy. I'm busy in every direction.
Well, condolences on the loss, and hopefully everything works out with the life changes. So
Yeah. It's all turning positive now. It's just we all have
yep.
our up and downs.
Oh yeah.
are you free on, not this Tuesday or anything, but are you free on like Tuesdays 6:30, 7-ish at all? Or
I usually work till about 6:30.
okay.
So,
All right. Because
um,
I do another show with Baldy Locks and Tony Toy
yeah.
Optic. I think Terry's still involved in it. I don't know yet. Um, and- so yeah, I'll probably have Baldy reach out, or I'll probably reach out once we discuss it, because I know Baldy wanted to do something leading into JoeFest, and I'm like, I'm having all these people come on. I go, why don't we do something where we have maybe designers that are going to be there, or toy makers and stuff like that. So it's not the same thing that like I'm doing on this show. Just kind of breaks it up, but he procrastinates everything.
He's busy.
Yes,
Let's just go.
David, I know Terry is busy. It is a running joke, so I know he's busy. I ask him all the time in our chat. I'm like, you still on the show? But Ed, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, both of you. Although Ed's supposed to be my moderator anyway, so he's supposed to be here.
I'd have been here no matter what, unfortunately. Talk about the bad life decisions.
Yeah. It's all of us, right? But seriously, Ed, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Again, it's easy to say that anyone could have created, JoeFest or a convention, and that technically is true. But it's about what you've cultivated, how you've made it work, and again, I was at a point where I tell my kid, like, dude, these are people online. You don't know them. They're not real friends. And I learned that that's not true. And then when you finally get to meet them, you're like, this is something I have to do every single year. And so many of our friends feel the exact same way. So thank you so much, because you made it so these guys that we see, we actually get to meet and hang out with for a half a week or so.
Yeah. And 10 years from now, Lawrence and I'll have our kids pushing us in wheelchairs while we're there. And we won't remember it afterwards, but it'll be fun while we're there.
I was trying to get my daughter to come this year, and they finally bought their plane tickets to go down to Florida. So I'm like, you've ruined my hope, and everyone would have loved to meet you. And her comment was, you never want to meet your hero. I'm like, I don't think you're the hero. And where do you get this ego? Where do you get this ego from?
I could see her saying that. Yep.
Oh, she said it. if she heard me, she'd probably come in and say it because that's how she is. So I'm going to let you go for the night. You gave me 2.5 hours. I will seek you out at JoeFest, take a picture, talk with you. Hopefully, in the middle of our conversation, David will interrupt us over the intercom because that's how it's supposed to be. But you do
Hopefully, he'll be
it.
announcing that Punk autographs for $5 a piece. So come over to aisle 2 and meet Punk.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting because, like I said, I'm not an autograph seeker, so I
Well,
don't
you're
know
not
how
getting any of the money. That's all going to me and Ed.
And Ned fun.
That's right.
God, I feel like I'm getting,
You're getting hoard out. Yes,
yes,
that's exactly what's
I'm
happening.
getting poured out. But anyway, Ed, thank you so much. We will be seeing you in less than 2 months, so looking forward to it. And everyone else that we're going to end up seeing, because there's so many people in the chat that were either here at the beginning, some are here now. David T. Allen, we know we're going to be seeing and hearing. Just be ready, people. If it's your first time, the voice that you hear is David T. Allen because he is the voice of JoeFest. So I gotta say goodbye, and I gotta hit this, or else I'll never leave. Ed, if you want to stick around after, cool. If not, I can understand people can only deal with me for so long. Everyone, take care.